It's Sunday night, and that means it's time for Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. So, Tony, I think you knew from my former career that I came in contact with a lot of celebrities, right?
Hmm.
So, did I ever tell you about the time that I met Dwayne Johnson?
I don't recall that one.
See, he cornered me in front of this Hallmark store. It was really odd because I was caught between a rock and a hard place. It's the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. Welcome to Sunday night's Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. And as John says, here we go. So I'm Ryan Magic Lasso. It's great to have you here with us. And fanboy Tony Fett is joining me. How are you?
Another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So full disclosure, we're experiencing a big storm here, so could lose power. Happens.
So it could go from Fanboys Live to Fanboy Live.
Yes.
Because are we welcoming Comic Food 2814 to the show?
Bring him on in.
Nope.
Nope. All right.
Are we welcoming Tim the Comic Collector?
Tim, come on down.
Nope, but he has one of these.
Oh, he's got a note from his mom. Okay.
Yeah. From Epstein's mom.
Epstein's mom.
How are you, Tony?
Can't complain. 1 week away from, by this time next week, I will have returned from Baltimore Comic-Con.
Yeah, a week from now, you'll have all them signatures in hand already.
Yes. It's going to be close. I'm cutting it close to 500. People keep canceling. So,
yeah,
boy, I don't know, man. It's I'm going to have to be huffing it.
Yeah. Let's say hello to some folks that are joining us in the chat. And if you're watching us on the rewind, that's always appreciated as well. The replays on Fanboys Live on my channel have been doing quite well, and we've been getting some good numbers off of that. So that's really appreciated too. So we're going to say hi to John's Comics with Kids. He says that I should include a link to buying my book in the description for this video because self-promotion is the name of the game. Not a bad idea. It might be cool to consider something like
that might work.
Yeah, that might work. So very cool that today I was participating in the C3 Comics Cure Cancer event, and a signed copy, the very first one that I've ever signed, sold today for a very nice price to benefit.
I did not watch. I should have.
That's okay, but I was really happy with how it turned out. So thank you to Hoarder's Hide, and John was bidding it up too as well. So, but Scott ended up with the book, and really appreciate that. So, I mean, every bid, regardless if you got something or not, helped make more money for Comics Curing Cancer. So, really appreciate that. So,
good cause.
Yeah, and John also showing where the link is, comicfleamarket.com. You can search for Female Force, Loretta Lynn, just like that. Unruly Simeon is here, and I bet Loki is close by, so hello to you both. Thanks for being here. Malo Cups, that's what I call him, Jean Malo. Some people call him Jean Malo. He's here. He wants to know how the padded wall renovation goes. So here's the honest answer why, because we know I have stuff to put on the walls now. Here's why there isn't stuff on the walls. There's two reasons. Number one, I'm lazy. And number two, I do want to get my desk in here. I'm not using a desk right now. And I want to see, it's going to be something similar to what Tony has so I can accomplish a 2-camera thing. So I don't want to really start putting things on my wall till I know the dimensions of my desk and where it's going to go. And when I flip from one camera to the other, what's going to be behind it. That's why I haven't started putting stuff up on the walls yet. But I know that drives Jean crazy. So sorry. Kyle's here. Hi, Kyle, Wheelchair Superhero 87. Hope that you're having a good weekend. And I Collect a Lot is here. Yeah. John enjoyed the opening remark. Yeah, there's no foo because this is getting close to, the time when regular people dress up in costumes and do stuff. Well, this is like his time.
This is like Christmas and New Year's all rolled into
Yeah,
one.
this is a big time for him. Yeah. And John was very close to winning that auction. So, and thank you to everyone that donated, participated, watched. It was an amazing event. Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics just knocked it out of the park with all of the work he did putting it together for this year. So I was very humbled and appreciative to be invited and to donate something. So yeah. Need to get the desk. I'm one step away from getting it, Jean, and that is just charging it to your credit card.
If you could put that in the chat,
Yeah. If you want to just do that, we could order it live.
We could do it right now
because I actually know which one I'm going to get. So I think. And Jedi Farce is here as well. I think I heard that hashtag somewhere.
Once or twice.
Yeah. Okay. So before we get into the retro review, before we get into the DC news, Tony, I'm going to let you know that I have not seen Black Adam yet. And the reason why I wanted to go on Thursday, the latest showing here in town, and this is a new town for me. This will be the first time I've gone to the theater. The latest showing they had was at 7:00 on Thursday.
Wow,
and
really?
I couldn't do that. If it was a 7:30, I could do it, but not with work. I couldn't do a 7.
My local theater had showings from 11 to 11.
Oh, wow.
Almost. Yeah.
So, and there have been later showings than 7, on Friday, Saturday, and today, but I have tomorrow off. And I thought to myself, how many people are going to be at there's a 1 or a 1:30 showing. And I'm like, how many people are going to be at a 1 or a 1:30 showing on a Monday afternoon?
It's just going to be you, bro.
So I'm feeling like that's when I'm going to go so I can have the theater to myself. But you've gone, try to stay a little bit spoiler free for those in the audience that haven't seen it yet. How was your experience? This was a movie you would put a lot into. So was it worth it for you?
Yes, I've been following this ever since DC dangled the Black Adam fruit in front of us all the way back in 2014. I would search any kind of news I could get. And if I could give it, whatever, 0 out of 10, I think it was good. 8.5, maybe 9. I could see where some of the people had legitimate complaints, but I don't understand why the critics had it out for this movie. It makes no sense for the critic score to be so low and the audience score to be so high. I get why the audience score is high because it's a fantastic movie, but for the critics to give it such a low score makes no sense.
That's what I was going to ask you, because there seems to be a very big disconnect between fan reaction and professional or critical reaction.
If you look at Rotten Tomatoes and you actually click on some of the reviews, and I was reading through some of them gave them, honest critiques, I guess, but several of them clearly had superhero fatigue. They said, and one of the reviews I read, he said, he was sick of Marvel. I think this person maybe was confused that this wasn't a Marvel movie because they kept talking about the MCU.
Yeah, this is
and the Avengers and all that. And I was like, this is not part of that. Like, whatever. But I agree with the audience. This is, they gave it a 90% out of 100%. So this was a big favorite. And it was projected to hit 60 million at highest. People were saying it's going to debut at 60 million at max. It got to 67.
Yeah, which is The Rock's highest opening ever for any film that he's done.
Yeah, this was a good movie. This is during the trailers, I'm glad they didn't give us a whole lot because I was confused about how they were going to do the backstory. Because if you remember the trailers, there was like him waking up and he was in this big vat of chemicals, like a Star Wars or something. But it makes more sense, obviously, when you watch a movie. But this was a good origin story. This was good. Some of the jokes I get didn't land, but he's 5,000.
Because what one person finds funny, another person doesn't.
what a lot of people are forgetting is this movie from the get-go was running uphill because unless you are a DC fan and you watch the fandom, you probably aren't going to know who Black Adam is. You're not going to know who the Justice Society of America is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to know what Atom Smasher is. People are going to think that Dr. Fate is a Doctor Strange clone, but in fact, it's the other way around. So this movie had a lot going for it. The fact that it's doing so well is great.
So is Black Adam the anti-hero or is he an anti-villain?
He straddles the line pretty well, which is great. And there is in the movie, I think it's pretty obvious from some of the trailer, like he just straight up murders people. Just if you see in the trailer, like him and Hawkman, heroes don't murder people, and he's like, well, I do, and I'm going to continue to. And it was pretty violent, and it was awesome. So this movie was straddled the line between, go ahead, bring the kids, and like, no, do not bring the kids, because at times it got pretty violent. Without giving a whole lot away, I do want to say my favorite scene in the whole movie is when he wakes up, and you see that in the trailer, where people are shooting at him and he's just killing all these bad guys or whatever, and he's in some kind of cave. But when the group of individuals confront him a second time, and a really cool remix version of Painted Black comes on, and Black Adam does his Black Adam thing, and it's pretty fun.
Nice.
I think you're going to get a kick out of it.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it. So was it popcorn, soda, and nachos?
I got a popcorn, a soda. My wife brought Five Guys burgers and fries.
Oh, I thought maybe she had another date.
No, the date was a cheeseburger.
Okay.
And some fries. So luckily it was I think there was like 5 people in the theater, because we saw it pretty early in the afternoon on a weekday. So it was pretty much a ghost town, but it was a great movie. I highly recommend it. Is it the greatest DC movie of all time? Probably not, but it's certainly better than Birds of Prey. The Birds of Prey probably will ever be.
Yeah, that was a low bar. But the one that I always set the lowest bar to, even though maybe it's a little unfair too, because this movie kind of predates the big superhero movies, but it's Catwoman.
Yeah, you're right.
Catwoman could have been a great movie though, because the cast was very good.
Yeah, you're right. It was a decent cast. It's a shame it went the direction it went. But yeah, great movie. And that's a great segue into the news. Black Adam.
Let me quickly say hello to some folks who have popped in since we started talking. Paul S. is here. We have one excused and one unexcused, although the unexcused was claiming that he is excused, but he's not. I want to say hello to Second Street Marvel. Thanks for stopping by. Any criticisms, Tony?
You could tell that they had to fit the movie into like a certain time frame, and some things had to give. Obviously, every movie films way more than what actually gets shown, but you could tell that Dr. Fate and Hawkman had a lengthy history, and I would just like to spend a little bit more time on that. Maybe explain why Atom Smasher and Cyclone were picked out of all the possible choices.
Sure. Hello to Trev, the shipping guru.
Absolutely loved it. It's a great show.
Thanks
I would agree. Unruly says nothing really, anything special. Agree. It's not meant to be some groundbreaking thing, but it is action packed. It is a ton of action. It is a comic book movie, so you're gonna enjoy it.
I Collect a Lot is here. Thank you. Hello to James Warlord. So great to have you guys here. Okay, Tony, DC News, segue us into it.
Since Black Adam is doing so well, they already announced a sequel was going to be fast tracked. In fact, a script has already been turned in and approved. So maybe we won't have to wait 10 years for this one.
Yeah.
Obviously Henry Cavill has signed this big deal with Warner Brothers. And that's good. He's coming back as the Man of Steel, so they're filming Man of Steel sequels. They did say that there wouldn't be a direct, Black Adam versus Superman movie in the sense of Batman v Superman. But obviously they're going to collide at some point. It's inevitable. But I would love to see a Superman and Shazam team up versus Black Adam, just like the animated
Sure.
the movie. And there's some great stories out there where the two of them have to team up, take on Black Adam. So very excited. DC's movie future is looking bright. Gal Gadot was spotted on the set of Shazam 2 Fear of the Gods reshoots.
Nice.
So she's already been confirmed that she's going to be in that movie, but doing reshoots is always good. Maybe they're going to expand that role a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting. And that makes sense because that's the pantheon of gods that she comes from. So maybe she's giving history about the gods or advising about, certain gods do what. Who better to know than Wonder Woman, to be honest with you. That makes perfect sense. So, the future is bright. But Black Adam came out, so it's pretty slow for news. Yeah, I would say maybe ever so slightly on the bad guy side. Without giving a whole lot away. I mean, he expresses that. Even in the trailers, you can tell him, like, well, I'm going to kill people. Like, if that makes me a bad guy, then, well. And he kind of embraces that. Like, this is my country. These are my people. And I'm going to kill anyone who gets in between me and them.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it tomorrow.
You're going to love it, man. You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
That's awesome. Any other DC news that we have? What else?
Pretty quiet. Pretty quiet.
Pretty quiet. One thing that we didn't cover, and I don't think.
Oh, maybe. Oh, just going to be me, I guess. He's frozen.
Being a friend tonight. Internet not being a friend tonight.
Yeah, I caught none of what you said.
Yeah, I didn't. I just stopped talking because I just saw circles going around.
Nice.
I apologize for that. I don't know. Ever since I moved to this town, this internet and I are not getting along that well.
It's because the Packers lost and Wisconsin is mad and people are going on the internet to complain about it.
Yeah. So thank you guys for being patient with that. I do apologize for that. It's something that, I do okay with it for a few weeks and then it seems to pop back up again. So, but anyway, DC Infinite, there's an upgraded version of the app now where you can get and read comic books on the DC app that are released 30 days from the release date. So that's pretty awesome now.
Yeah, that's exciting. I don't really do the Infinite app. Just really not my thing. It's okay if I don't get it 30 days early. I like to support my LCS because if I read something and I hate it, I'm not going to buy it.
Please, once again, let me literally reintegrate. Support your LCS.
Yes, LCS is all the way.
People whose rents depend on that.
Yeah, and but the Infinite app might be something great if like where I come from, back in Iowa, there was no LCS, so nearest LCS was over an hour away, so wasn't always an option. So
yeah, exactly.
Wish I had something like that growing up.
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of it for DC news.
Yeah, huh? It's quiet. We're all quiet on the. I think there was some Flash news. They found a replacement actor
for the Flash.
For the Flash, for the second Flash movie.
Oh, okay.
But I can't tell if that was real.
That sounds fake. I don't think that they would say anything like that, at least until the movie has been released and done what it's going to do in the box office. Because there would be perceptions of, well, if they're already replacing him, why would I go to this?
Yeah, I'll just go to the next one or something. Yeah, it didn't. That's what I mean. Like, I wasn't sure if that was real or not, but
it doesn't sound real.
That's the only thing.
I did see a Funko Pop that was signed by Ezra Miller, and I said, the signature looks like a crazy person. That's what it looked like. Even the way he wrote the Flash, it looked crazy. I'm like, this looks like the Joker wrote it.
Maybe they should cast him as the Joker. I don't know.
Yeah.
If he cast him as the Joker, would we even be having this conversation?
Oh, I collect a lot. Remembers me talking about this. Yes. So I had two because I have two different accounts. I got a common on my first account, and on my second account, I got a rare. So I did.
That's okay, because I got that rare Nubia anytime you want it.
So you want to trade my rare Harley Quinn for rare Nubia?
No, I'm good. You can just have it.
Oh, I can just have it. Okay, that's fine too.
You can just have it.
All right. Okay, so we're going to do a Black Adam themed retro review tonight. Appropriately enough, he's got the #1 movie, in the country right now. And Tony, are you going to go first, or am I going to go first?
I can go first. Let me.
Yeah, you should go first because I need to grab my iPad yet. So
sure. Let me see.
Oh, I collect a lot. Got a rare one as well. That's cool.
Nice. The only thing rare I get is when the mail gets delivered, they don't drop me off a huge bill for something. That's the only rare collection I get. Let me present my screen here. Which one is it?
I'll get it shared and then I'll go grab my iPad. I don't even know what book you picked. Oh,
I picked classic number 28. The first appearance of Black Adam in DC continuity.
Yeah.
But this is a classic, obviously for obvious reasons. But Shazam, Captain Marvel, the Return of Black Adam. It's pretty amazing. So it kicks off with Dr. Sivana bringing Teth Adam back to life. And he remembers that he's, this person that has these powers. So he says the word, he turns into Black Adam, smashes his way out of there, says, "Listen, pal, I don't need your help to wreck the city. Like, I can do this on my own." So we cut to the Billy Batson and Mentor. For those of you who were around when Shazam, the TV show, was on TV, I never understood why they would travel around in an RV with the logo on the hood. Yep. Kind of defeats the purpose of a secret identity. But anyway, so they get caught in a big protest, and they're trying to get Billy to join either side, but no, they're not trying to get Shazam to join. I'm trying to get Billy to join. But he turns into Shazam and flies out of there. And then he notices, hey, there's Black Adam in the sky. He's like, "I've only heard about you. Like, you should be dead. Like, what happened?" So he goes and talks to the Marvel family. And they decide, we got to take him out anyway. We can't leave him around. So he says Shazam. He turns into regular Teth Adam. Right before he says Shazam again, Billy knocks him out, turns and crumbles into dust. Random story about Aquaman and Twinkies, which I think we should do a review on at some point.
I do. I think we should have a host this night.
Yeah. But that was their plan, to turn him into dust, but doesn't turn out that way. They have a huge fight over the harbor. They start throwing ships at each other. But it turns out that Billy is not as strong as Black Adam, because Black Adam is incredibly more experienced. Throws a statue at him, which I think is pretty cool. And then he climbs into his RV as Billy Batson, saying like, "Hey, I need help trying to defeat this guy." And they give a quick origin about Black Adam, that they chose him as champion to help free the people of Kahndaq, but he got corrupted by the power and this whole thing, which translates well into modern Black Adam. It's like, if I have the power of the gods, doesn't that make me a god, so to speak? So the wizards, I want to touch on this one panel 1 second. So the wizards banish him or whatever, but at this time, Shazam. No, it was Black Adam. When he says Shazam, he's not saying Shazam for the Greek gods. he's saying Shazam for the Egyptian gods, the old pharaohs. S for Shu, H for Hersef, A for Amon, Z for Zitui. I'm not sure. A for Anpu, and M for Menutu. I'm not sure, but which was interesting. I went down this huge rabbit hole today about when that changed over. And I'll touch base into that later on. But back to the story. So Black Adam and Dr. Savannah are like, listen, you donut, I've been fighting this kid for a while. You're doing it wrong. Here's what I know. So they share some information. And Black Adam goes off to the Rock of Eternity. Shazam catches him, kind of throws him into another dimension, because keep in mind the Rock of Eternity has several ways in and out, which lead to different dimensions, different universes, different Earths. So when he chucks him, he lands into 1773, December 16th, also known as the Boston Tea Party, which is pretty cool. So they start chucking boxes of tea at each other, which I thought was pretty fitting. This will also make a good 4th of July Independence Day piece. So Shazam is trying to hold his own against Black Adam, but it ain't going good. And then Black Adam decides, listen, if you have the power of Shazam, I bet I can turn you back into Billy. And sure enough, it works. He gets turned back into Billy. He gets tied, he gets gagged, and he gets chucked into the river all the way back in 1773. And he's pulled up by the members of the Boston Tea Party, turns back into Shazam, flies back to Earth just as the Black Adam was going to charge his mentor. And then Shazam uses the same trick on Black Adam, turning him back into 10th Adam. And I believe that wraps up the story. Yes. So they just Shazammed on each other.
Yeah.
And that's how each one got the upper hand when they did.
Yeah.
So, classic story.
I love those Daily Planet pages there.
Yeah, aren't they great?
Comic books. They'd have the Answer Man segment and everything. Oh man, those were, as a little kid, that was my deal. Say hello to Scott. We were just talking about you earlier with the C3 Comics Carrying Cancer auction. So great to see you here.
Yes.
And Scott knows that I am the hostess with the mostest. Let
me get yours up here.
Stephen M is here. Shazam and Wonder Woman seem similar, that they give them their powers by the various gods. So yeah. So the book.
Maybe
go ahead, Tony.
I just want to say, like, you're talking about Wonder Woman. You know, it'd be a really interesting kind of like limited mini series that's not in any continuity, like Elseworlds, so to speak. What if they should do like, what if Wonder Woman had the power of Shazam?
Oh, that'd be interesting.
You know what I mean? Because she goes up, talks to the wizards. He's like, the power of Zeus. Like, I already have that. Like, what are you talking about?
TM Nerdy from Canada is joining us. So good to see you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by.
What was the big con they just had up in the our neighbors to the north just had? I forget.
Was it MapleCon?
MapleCon?
Was it HockeyCon?
HockeyCon? I don't know. Boy, Phillies won, so they're and the Flyers, so they're freaking out tonight.
Awesome. So the book that I chose, I decided to do something a little bit more modern, and this was my first time reading this, and I actually had a physical copy of it. I'm doing 52, so this is week 23. So keep in mind as we start into this story, though, that there's several events have taken place, and there's another backstory that we're actually starting with on the next page before we get into the Black Adam stuff. So that will seem a little bit off topic for a minute, but here we begin with Will Magnus, and he is, they're taking the blindfold off of him. He realizes that wherever he has been taken to, they have arrived. We see in the bottom panel, a big robot coming out of the water. He's not rusting, which is good. So there, the robot is adjusting himself, and Will Magnus is coming out. He's recognized. There is T.O. Morrow, who is welcoming him. And, there we got the big Cricketron that is going berserk. And what Will is realizing here is in other issues, all of these scientists have gone missing. Well, this is where all the missing scientists have ended up on this island. And essentially, Tio Maro is filling him in on what is gone down, that they've all of these mad scientists, all these brilliant minds have been given unlimited funds and taken to this island to create whatever they want to create. And there we have Dr. Savannah, who is pretty proud that his robot defeated the little Cricketron thing. And they essentially are just welcoming Magnus, and they have a little bit of a joke that he was the one who created the Metal Man. It says he created the Metal Man, but we won't hold that against him. And then someone else says, now I know who to blame. But they welcome him to the island, but essentially tell him he doesn't have a choice. We want you to join us in creating the future. And before you ask no, you really don't have a choice. So that kind of takes care of that other backstory. Now we start to get into the main part of the story, the reason that I wanted to choose this. So here we see that we have on day 5 of week 23, day 5, they have a ceremony going on, and a boy is called forth. This is being observed by the Question and Renee Renee
Montoya. The Questions.
Oh yeah, the Questions. So those two are observing this, and they see that they're bringing in this boy, Aman Tomaz. So this would be Andrea Tomaz's brother, and apparently he's tried to escape before, and he did again, and he's about to be punished. And the Questions are like, should we jump down and take care of this? And they're like, no, Black Adam's coming, but if we go down right now, we're not going to survive before they get here. So they see this boy is about to be tortured, and they're going to make it to the point that he can't ever escape again. So, and the Questions are going back and forth. You know, one stops the other. The Question stops Renee from jumping down and interfering in him being damaged. On the next page, we realize that their presence has already been alerted to. They've been caught. And, you know, Renee fires the gun. They jump out. They're in it right now. And the Question grabs this book. And the funny reply is, I'm not sure that now is the time to be worrying about boosting your collection. And they're fighting. They're getting injured a little bit. All of a sudden, bust through. We have Black Adam, and we have his wife, Isis, there. She says, we came as soon as we could. And she realizes that Montea is wounded, so she heals her with her powers. And she's telling her, your brother's here. And she's like, where? And they're like, they've taken him below, but he's hurt. And she's like, well, I can heal him just as I healed your wounds. So we got this big battle going on that page that you see right now. And Black Adam and Isis are busting through to find her brother. She sees him on the table. She's wondering what they've done to him. And they realize that he's being punished because he tried to escape. And Black Adam's asking if these are the ones who did this to him. He's asking the Question, and Question says yes. Then Black Adam says, then let them feel their bones crushed and shattered one at a time. And Isis stops him using her winds. And he's like, why did you do this? Look what these monsters did to your brother. Isis, he's my family now, and he's dying. They deserve a slow death, plucked apart like the insects that they are. And she's like, please, too many people here in this world have already been hurt. She realizes that Aman's wounds, the fresh ones, cover others from days and weeks before, and he's been beaten many times before this. So she starts to cry, and it starts raining in there. And Isis, not Isis, I'm sorry, but they realize that he's never going to walk again. And Black Adam walks over to him. He introduces himself. He tells Aman that I am Black Adam, your sister's husband, and by that right, your brother, and we're family. We have a bond now. Say my name, brother. Say it. And he starts to say Black Adam. And then you get that full page splash right there where he said Black Adam. And he's completely transformed, and he becomes Osiris. And he starts to say, I'm hearing these voices in my head. And Black Adam says, they're the gods that power me. You have the strength of your namesake, Amon. And he's testing out his powers a little bit. And he truly realizes that he's Isis's brother because he has the powers like she has now. He knows that he's Osiris, even though he doesn't know what that means yet. And Black Adam says, it means you are family now, brother. So Isis and her brother embrace and, let these lands bloom with life where mine is finally returned. And he's Osiris says, thank you. And Black Adam says, you're most welcome. And Black Adam, Shazam, Isis, what the hell are you doing? Seeing if it's contagious. So the next day after this, we have Black Adam and Isis, and she's asking, well, what did you do to Oman? And he says that I simply shared a portion of my power with your brother, just as Captain Marvel has done with Freddie Freeman. It's something I've always been able to do, but I've never had family to share my gifts with. So she kisses him for that. And she goes on to say, Adam, I promised you when we found my brother, I would help you change the world, and I know just where to start. So they grab Osiris and they head off to China, and that's where the story ends. And then incidentally, we have like a 2-page little origin of Black Adam. Not Black Adam, I'm sorry, Wildcat, which they were doing at the end of this 52 series. Yeah, and Cricketon, that is a great name.
Fabulous name.
Yeah. And yeehaw to yeehaw. Michael Maneras is here. Yeehaw! Said with my best Dukes of Hazzard impression that I can.
You got to wear the Daisy Dukes if you go Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to wear mine and like have a t-shirt, tied right here.
Yep.
Got to play it off.
So, the one thing that I've noticed, and I don't know if I've ever said this before, who Black Adam reminds me of? What other DC Comics character he reminds me of? The way he's drawn in the face, he looks like Sinestro to me.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that. It's funny because in the New 52, Sinestro got a standalone story. And it was actually pretty good. There's a part of the story where he comes to Earth and he's Black Adam's friend. And they're talking about, being from different worlds but having the same goal. Ever since I read that, I was like, man, like a 6-issue miniseries about those two just tearing up DC would be so cool.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one of the reasons that I like this story and one of the reasons that I chose the story was I like that it showed a different side to Black Adam, I think, than what most people were expecting in this story. It showed his level of commitment to family, and he really didn't even know his brother-in-law, but yet he was willing to get this guy, essentially a gift that restored / changed his life. So I just thought it was an extra layer to the character that you don't always see much, and was really really shown in that story. Out of 5, I'm going to give it I'll give it 4 lightning bolts out of 5.
Yeah, okay, it's 5 out of 5 for mine.
Yeah, yours is awesome.
Yeah, it gets all the points for nostalgia.
Yeah.
But touching base on his power to share, without spoilers, they do touch on it.
Do they?
In the movie, so
okay,
but it's pretty brief.
Without spoilers, we have Isis though, right?
No.
Well, maybe you can't answer that without spoilers. Is there an Andrea Tomaz? There has to be, because she's on IMDb. Let me ask, does she have a bigger role in the movie? That's not really spoiler.
Yeah. I forget what her name was. Was it Andrea? I forget. Okay. I forget what her name was in the movie, but she plays a pretty heavy role in that film. And I imagine we'll see her again at some point.
Awesome.
Just guessing.
So one book that I've never read, and I'm curious if you have or not, Tony, is the DC Comics Presents 49.
No, I have not.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. For those that don't know, I'm waiting for it to load on my iPad so I can at least show the cover. I don't have that either in my collection.
Actually, I do. Now that I see the cover, I do. I was thinking of something else. I do have that.
How is the story? Do you remember?
It's been a while since I read it, but it's good. From what I remember, it looks
good. I know that's a classic cover. So I almost chose that for my retro review tonight, but I decided to do something a little bit more modern.
I think the animated movie is heavily inspired by that book.
Okay.
Which will hopefully inspire the movie if it ever comes to something like that.
Yeah. Awesome. We still have plenty of time, but
we do. I'm good.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I do.
Awesome.
Let me see. Right here. So I happen to possess the DC Comics Encyclopedia, aka the Holy Bible.
Yep.
Of DC. And it talks in heavy about the continuity of the Shazam family, Black Adam, Shazam, Captain Marvel, and the whole pantheon of gods. So here is a trivia question for you, Mr. Lasso.
Okay.
There have been 3 pantheons of gods where Shazam has called his power from. Can you tell me what those 3 pantheons are? Or as many as you can.
So you're talking like what the acronyms stand for?
Not necessarily the acronyms. I mean, you get super bonus points if you knew all the acronyms, but at least, where they come from. What gods? Not the names of the gods, but where, like.
Yeah. They're Greek, right?
Greek is one of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Greek. We got Egyptian.
Walk like an Egyptian.
And a very recent one from Justice League 3000. Major event happened at the end of that. That gave everyone powers from a certain area of space. Flash got powers. Batman sat on the chair, the Mobius chair. Superman got new powers. Shazam got new powers. What's up?
I said, help me out, chat.
Yeah, help him out. Obviously, yes. I'll give you a couple of seconds more before I tell you, but it is pretty cool. And I forgot all about it. So during this period in Shazam's power or his timeline, he would still say Shazam, but instead of the lightning coming from the Greek gods, it would come from the gods of apocalypse.
Oh, wow. I don't think I knew that.
I don't think I did either, as much as I'm a big fan and want to say, oh, I knew everything, but I don't recall that. But that was pretty interesting. So he had started off as Egyptian, then turned Greek, and then came from apocalypse, then back to Greek.
I just want to see, for the funsies of it, if and I know this is Shazam, but if I can name, at least for Captain Marvel, Billy Batson.
Go for it.
S is Solomon.
Yep.
H is Hercules, I believe.
Yep.
A is, don't tell me I know this, Achilles?
Yes, Achilles is in there somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, he might be the second A. The Z is Zeus.
Yep.
Then there's another A. The M is Mercury.
The M is Mercury.
But the other A is Achilles, and it's not Aphrodite. Atlas, Comic Boom had it. That's it.
Yes. So
yeah. And trust me, I saw Comic Boom's answer. I didn't know it. So thank you.
Okay. So S Solomon, H Hercules, A Atlas, Z Zeus, A Achilles, M Mercury.
Okay, so Achilles is the second A. Okay.
Yeah, it don't matter. I think you can't really screw that up. If you say Shazam one way, it's the same.
Mhm.
Hey, you screwed the powers up. You're in backwards. But I highly recommend getting this book if you see it on there. I saw it at Costco, and I was like, I have to have it. And it's turned into one of my long term signature projects. I've only got a couple in there now, but Jeff
But a week from
Isherwood,
now, that will
Rick
change.
Leonardi, and gosh, I can't remember. But I actually picked up 2 copies of this, and I'm
Nice.
gonna get them both filled with signatures. So that's a cool little read. Anything you
I
can
have a
possibly
signature
imagine.
question for. I have a signature question for you.
Yes.
So the Infinite Frontier issue 6. One of the variant covers that's coming out is the George Perez tribute wraparound, which is a jam piece that was done by several different artists. Is that a book that you're going to consider getting and then getting it signed by the artist that participated on it?
Uh, I mean, I'm always open to stuff like that. I haven't put in much thought on my 2 big ones that I really want to get at Comic Con. And they're totally doable. They're going to be one of my first ones. So, if you guys remember the Boss Logic Black Adam,
Oh
awesome
yeah.
cover, and Page Puncher's toys, the little toys you get from Walmart that come with comic books. When you buy the Black Adam figure, you get a second copy. It's an actual book. It's a reprint of the first one. While the original is cardstock, the second one is not. I'm
Gotcha.
curious to see, once I get them slab, if they're going to notate that it is the Page Puncher variant or any kind of variant.
Yeah, because the other one doesn't have a barcode on it either
Yep,
on the
yep,
cover.
yep. Or on the back. And the back is different.
Is
One
it?
is advertised for DC Infinite, and the other one's for just DC Comics in general.
Yeah. Hello to Comic Boom, by the way. Even though we've talked about him, I want to give a formal hello, as well as to Super Russ 9000. Great to have
Yes.
you guys stopping by. So, yeah, for those that don't know, next Sunday is the day that you're attending Baltimore Comic Con, and armed with a wagon full of books.
Yes. It's people have canceled, so I've had to bring that down. I know you were looking forward to Mark Wade, but
Yeah.
unfortunately he's on the cancel list. But so far, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez is still
Yeah, because
showing.
that's one I
So
really want.
he's one that I'm going to try to get almost instantly. I noticed that I'm going to get a lot of Black Adam and Shazam covers signed. So I think I might do something special with that at
Nice.
some point. But in terms, I'm going to segue to what's coming on my channel.
Yeah,
Lots
do
of
that.
stuff
And the
coming
bookshelf.
next week.
Yeah.
Coming next week. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff, especially once I start getting some of the books back from Baltimore. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a great convention. I would look forward to it. If any of you are going to be in Baltimore Comic Con by chance, definitely let me know. Let's high five and talk books for sure. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. It is my 4-year-old's first big convention. She's going as Wonder Woman, so she's very excited to wear her costume. She has this light up lasso and everything. It's going to be fun.
I'm familiar with the light up lasso.
I bet you are.
Do you have a book show that you want to share?
Oh yeah, I've got the book I just reviewed.
Go.
Shazam, man, that glare is awful. It's in a Mylite, a super thick Mylite, so trying to protect it. So there it is. I also have the first ISIS around here somewhere. But grab this one. This one is I picked this one up for like before Dwayne Johnson announced he was The Rock. So I got this for like probably way too cheap. Probably maybe a 5.
Oh, wow.
It's still a good book to have for sure. So if you see it and it's for a decent price, definitely grab it.
Yeah. Aggressively Relaxing Vacuum Cleaner is here.
Yes.
Great to see you. So on my channel, to let you know what's going on, and yeah, Yeehaw thinks it's a cool cover.
It is.
It is. On my channel, what happened this past week on my channel? I had an AOK video from the Comic Crawl crew in Florida. So we did that unboxing this past week. We had a cover by video with Comics for Thomas and Cookie from Just a Little Podcast. So that was on my channel. Of course, we had the YouTube short, the back issue of the week. So that's already on my channel. What's coming up for my channel tomorrow, I have a Black Adam themed back issue of the week short. So, and it's one that, it's not the one that I reviewed tonight. I found something different that I wanted to use. And it's a pretty cool cover. I'll say that for sure. So look for that short dropping tomorrow morning. On Tuesday, I'll have another comic book editions video. Some recent additions into my collection too. One of the books I was inspired to buy from watching Metarog's channel. And finally, I couldn't take this book that was on the wall behind Metarog anymore. And when I found it in the wild, I grabbed a hold of it as fast as I could. And I'm like, I have to have that book. That's the one that Metarog has in his background. So that's coming up on my channel this week. Oh, very nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy. Gore is joining us too. Thanks for stopping by.
Gore.
Yeah. Oh, Comic Boom has the book that you had, Tony.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
yeah,
for
mine
my
could be better.
For my book show, what I decided to do, I didn't want to use the cover, for the book I'm going to show tomorrow. And I realized I don't have a lot of Black Adam in my collection. And that's something that I probably need to change, and probably well after enjoying the movie tomorrow. But this 52 series, which I reviewed one from tonight, seems to have a lot of great Black Adam covers. And another one that they have is this one. So this is issue 12. And this is the new introduction of the new ISIS. So
that's a nice one.
Yeah, that's a really great cover too.
Who's the writer on that? Jeff Johns?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what I thought would be a good book show for tonight. Another book from this 52 run. So
it's a very undervalued run for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what's going on. By the way, if you haven't subbed to Tony's channel, there's a link, as well as our missing fanboys. The tricks are gone. You just got the treats tonight. But there's links to everyone's channel in the description for this video. So make sure to check that out. As John had suggested, Female Force Loretta Lynn is now available wherever you buy online
Get
books.
yours.
Yes, including Kindle and Comixology. It's on there. You know how weird it is for me to search eBay and now there's results for me on eBay?
Oh, man. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So.
Lucky you. Yeah, Grace Ventura for future Black Adam movie. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before they do it, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. So next week we are going to do our Halloween show. Now you're going to be back. You're probably going to be tired, but you might be full of energy too.
I'm going to be so excited because if I get the signatures I want, I'm going to be bouncing off the walls.
Are we going to get any preview next week on Fanboys of like a first look at something? Because by that time you won't have had time to put anything up content-wise. Are we going to get any preview of anything next week?
Yeah, I can give you a little preview now.
Okay. Look at that. Wow.
So if you are aware of what this is, you know what's in it. And I'm going to get a bunch of it signed. So
nice. Have you considered taking any of, I know that you love the promo posters and stuff too. Have you considered taking any of your posters?
I have, but the one that I could take, probably won't. It's a little beat up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Green Arrow New 52 poster that I got when it came out, and it's been moved 100 times. So, but that's the only one that I could take, because the rest don't really have a whole lot of promo stuff, minus what's in here. So I'm probably going to end up taking a bunch of that.
Nice.
And going to visit Mr. Ordway.
Nice. So happy signature gathering for you next week. You'll still be on Fanboys. It will be our Halloween edition show. So it's essentially going to be bring your own Halloween book.
Bring a spooky book.
Yeah. And I haven't decided what issue I'm going to do, but I'm pretty sure I know what series I'm going to do. And it's one that I don't regularly read, or one that I don't think gets enough attention, because, DC's done some horror type books in their past and stuff too. There's a wide range of stuff to choose from, but I'm going to delve into one that I don't think gets enough love, especially on the Fanboys show.
Interesting. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So that brings us to the conclusion of tonight's Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. Thank you again for joining us. Tony, thank you for being here, and happy signature hunting once again. And we'll catch, believe it's going to be on my channel again next week.
Yep.
Because we're going to have an excused absence and a claimed excused absence that isn't. So it will be back here on my channel again next week. Halloween edition. Put your costume on and enjoy it. And we will catch you soon. Take care. Thanks for joining us tonight.